So Ken Napzok, why haven't you seen Gremlins?
It's a movie full of little demons terrorizing children.
Yes.
And growing up in a Calvary Chapel church in the 80s, very legalistic, I wasn't allowed to support little demons scaring children. I mean, I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, and it has been clear. And I always bring it up because it's always funny, the movie pockets that you have.
Big pockets.
Because I think of growing up, like Ghostbusters, I know you're gonna watch it sooner or later.
It's actually a Patreon goal that I've reached. So
right, you've reached it.
I'm doing a watch along for myself, and then I'm going to talk about it.
I want to watch along with you.
You're
with
on the
Ghostbusters.
list.
Okay.
Yeah. Cody Hall's not.
But Gremlins.
Yeah.
Is there anything I see? The thing that worries me about Gremlins for you is that when you watch it, you're going to hate it.
I watched with the Gremlins. I watched one of like a YouTube video. Probably CinemaSins or something.
Sure.
And went, that's good for me.
No interest whatsoever. All right, let me break down Gremlins for you because the mythology is fantastic. Okay. You know about the 3 rules.
Don't get them wet.
Don't get them wet. Okay. Don't expose them to sunlight.
Right.
And don't feed them. The most important, don't feed them after midnight.
Okay. It's kind of like dating a goth girl.
It's exactly like dating a goth girl.
Perfect.
I can't even. That was the greatest drop. Perfect. Let's just go there because now I want to talk about that. Hello, it is episode 10 of the Reilly Roundtable. Welcome, welcome. This is a show about movies. This is a show about life. This is a show about movies and life and everything in between. I am so thankful for everybody following along with the Reilly Roundtable, sharing it, liking it, commenting. I get all of it. I thank you all. And this is episode 10, and my special guest is somebody I've wanted to have on since day one because you're a hero of mine. Ken Napzok, how the hell are you?
Happy to be here. Finally happy to be here helping you create content.
Right?
You have been so gracious with me over the years, being on the Napzok Files and Force Center and all those things that I've done.
Well, that's easy because
soon the afternoons of Josh and Ken, I want you on there too. But
I want to be on there.
You've given me a lot of content over the years. I'm glad to repay it. Finally.
Well, thank you. You were a very highly regarded guest for many people when I teased it on my own Patreon that Ken Napzok is going to be on, and a lot of people got very excited. I haven't. It's been secret on Twitter because I want to drop it and have everybody
be surprised.
Hey, it's Ken Napzok. I'm so glad you're on, dude. And I love it. The thing about you, Ken, that I've noticed in my podcast subscriptions, every show you do, I listen to.
Oh yeah,
like the Napzok Files and Force Center and Afternoons with Josh and Ken.
Yeah,
I listen to all of them, and I love doing everything. When you say "come on," I'm like, yeah.
You probably, though, I'm guessing, didn't listen to the Wrestling Viewpoint Network.
No.
That's the one I did that I don't think a lot of people listen to.
I don't do wrestling.
I know you don't.
I like the inner workings of it and the heel and because we explore
the storytelling.
The story. You're Schmodown. We do the story.
You're
so
a storyteller, and wrestling is storytelling at its purest form in a lot of ways. So I understand that. But yeah, I don't try to convince anyone to love wrestling that doesn't.
Yeah, I mean it's not that I don't love it.
Sure.
I grew up. I remember one of my earliest memories with wrestling was Hulk Hogan taking on Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 3?
3. Pontiac Silverdome.
Okay. And I had the magazine that was measuring them, and my friends and I were like, oh, yeah, and we would do push-ups and then measure our biceps again and be
24
like, it went up, and then we do again. I remember that, and I remember the video games and all that stuff, but yeah. Then
that's fair. It grabbed me at an early age. It did leave for a while. I didn't watch it a lot in junior high, so like the 89, 90 years. And then by 91, 92, I was back into it, and it's never really left,
Yeah. Well, it's fun. I mean, with the Schmodown, it's interesting because I guess I'm, what do they call the non-heel guys in wrestling?
Baby faces. You're a baby face.
I'm a baby face.
A face.
And you're a heel now.
I'm a heel now. And there's tweeners. It's weird, though, to watch. It's a perfect mix of competitive movie trivia,
Right.
And Christian's ability to craft stories and characters, which he's always been good at. And he wrote for the WWE.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I'm sure he's talked about it on his own show, but the Perry Saturn mop angle was Christian's angle, if you guys remember from the Attitude Era, late Attitude Era.
Yeah,
it's the perfect mix, but it's a weird reaction. I have an interesting relationship with it.
Yeah,
because I worked in wrestling as well, and off and on, and still have a finger in it. Really, barely a fingernail in pro wrestling.
Sure.
I don't fully take to it as much. It's weird. I just have a weird reaction. I love the Schmodown. I love announcing.
I love the Schmodown.
Yeah.
It's kind of leading me into a start of a conversation I want to have with you,
right? Which
is when I'm yelled at on Twitter for winning a match or losing a match. Yeah. And it takes me out. Like I'm caught off guard. Like, you suck, Reilly. And I'm like, shit.
Well, because
I only lost by 1 point.
I think a lot of people are caught up in this world that we all have created behind Christian's genius on it, right?
Yeah,
so he gives us his playground, and a lot of us are really good at it. The truth is, some of us aren't good at promos, and that's
me.
That's a lot of wrestlers who aren't good at promos too.
Yeah.
You do that, but what's weird is it's this altered reality, and then Twitter is this weird altered reality as well, where the person tweeting under the name Ken Napzok isn't me 100%. It's an 80% version of me, or a twisted different version. I'm not that lonely,
right.
blah, 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 it's entertainment. I view it as entertainment. Some people don't, including in our industry. So what happens is, if you're in the WWE right now, Twitter, social media has caused an interesting problem for pro wrestling at a high level.
Okay.
They have had storylines ruined because two of the characters actually got engaged in real life and Instagrammed their engagement rings, and that changed because on screen they weren't together, and so so it bleeds over. So in the Schmodown, Mark Reilly goes and says, "Here's a picture of Cal," and someone's like, "Ooh, the character of Mark Reilly that I love or hate on Schmodown has tweeted, I'm going to interact with that as a fan of that." Yeah. That's not their fault, but it creates this weird thing where I think a lot of competitors can easily get their feathers ruffled.
Yeah.
Because it's like, whoa, that's something I've come and done on a Friday. Now it's Sunday and you hate me? What?
Right.
And it's a weird, that's the weird relationship.
That is the weird relationship.
If I'm being honest, I'm being very honest.
No, that's what we do here at the Roundtable.
Yeah.
We be honest. We try to be. We're recorded now. Welcome being the second guest, by the way, on video.
I don't understand podcasts on video.
I don't either. I've made it known here at the studio that I would do the Reilly Roundtable when I could.
Yeah.
Which was mostly
now it's
at home.
scheduled. Yeah.
Now it's scheduled. They want it on video. I like the intimacy of the podcast and not feeling like I have to look at the camera and
I mean, I'm
hey, how you doing?
But you got Cody Hoss to come here and press play. But just because I don't get or like podcasts and video, I understand it because I used to be a huge fan of Howard Stern, and we had his show before it got too big with sets and everything. I used to love it because, from a radio background, it is kind of interesting to watch a radio show at play, but I don't like it. People like the afternoons with Josh and Ken. We tape it, but we put little clips up to promote.
Right.
And people, I appreciate it, are like, put the whole thing up. Right. I don't have the 4-hour export time.
Yes.
I don't have the time and the equipment to do that on a regular basis. And also, it's a podcast. Listen to it in your ears.
That's why the Reilly Roundtable started.
Right.
I always wanted to do a podcast. And I liked the flexible schedule, but then when they made the deal to bring it here, I was like, well, I'm still owning this. I'm still producing this. And yeah. And then to start the new channel, they're like, we want to put this on video. And I had a lot of people asking they want it on video. They want to listen to or watch it. And great. So it's going to get some more stuff. So perfect.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Look, I get it because I see Rogan doing his stuff and everything. And Jim Cornette. I get it. We in Force Center put some of our stuff up, not all of it, and we might one day. Yeah. It does help. It's like, just because I don't like it doesn't mean I'm always finding it weird.
Yeah.
You want to sit down and watch people talking for 2 hours?
That's the part that gets me. And,
by the way, is this 2 hours?
It's going to be 2 hours of Reilly Roundtable. Just
I don't know. I feel I'm starting grumpy. It's because I had a late breakfast. And I'm feeling weird. Today is my 20th anniversary at the time of this recording, my 20th anniversary of being in L.A. And
is it really?
I moved here August 15th, 1998.
Dude, congratulations.
Yeah,
welcome.
It's weird.
And you're on this podcast.
Yeah, I driving off on the 118 freeway in August of 1998, looking out into the world, seeing the San Fernando Valley at the crest when you come over Rocky Peak. And I was like, what's out there for me?
I'm so glad you
What
came.
out there was for me was Mark Reilly and his podcast. I got
to celebrate 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. I got laid off from my radio career in January of 1998. Look at this George Lucas symmetry.
Okay.
1998 January, I get laid off.
Okay.
I dole around, work, coach a baseball team for free, do some unemployment.
And this is up in Pismo.
Up in Pismo, Rio Grande. Get a job at the local movie theater there,
Nice.
cleaning theaters a couple days a week. Moved to L.A. August 15th, 1998.
Nice.
January 2018, I lose my job. I've been running around on the dole trying to figure it out, working little jobs here and there. And now here
Full
we are,
circle.
August, full circle, and about ready to start hopefully a new chapter in my life. So it's as George would say, it's poetry. It's poetry.
It echoes.
It echoes.
It like it rhymes.
It's a stanza.
I love that I went into a George Lucas impression that turned English.
English, and mine's just this weird Kermit the Lucas.
Oh, that was great, guys. That's my George
That's
Lucas.
George.
Well, I'm glad you came.
Yeah,
and that's
happy to be
around
here.
the time.
But it's putting my brain in a weird spot. So if
I get it.
seem down today, I'm actually happy. I've accomplished a lot, but I'm feeling oddly syrupy, sappy, sentimental, and
good.
depressed.
Well, I'm going to build you up here.
Build me up,
because
buttercup, baby, just to let me
I
down.
knew of you
Yeah,
through Christian.
yeah, I knew
course.
of you too. I think at one point I was probably jealous of you.
I've been jealous of you ever since I met you, if that makes it, because I've said this over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I think you are the best on the mic.
Oh,
the best
thanks, man.
I have ever met. The greatest
Yeah.
of all time. The GOAT of
goat.
the mic. No, and I noticed that when I first met you, and I'm going to try to do this, get the years right.
Okay.
When did we start the Schmoes Know thing?
When did you guys join, or when did they?
Yeah,
start?
when did I join?
You joined
because you
early.
you were already there.
Yeah, you early 2013.
Yes.
January, February 2013. That I
Yes.
don't know exactly.
Yeah, it was around there. Though.
Yeah,
That's about
I
right.
got the call from Christian October, maybe late September 2012.
Okay.
Hey, I want you to produce this thing with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I started October 2012.
Okay.
JT started like the next week.
Right.
And
I think I popped in.
you had popped in, but
once
I
as a
showed up.
guest.
Yeah, and I showed up, and I'd known about you, known Josh McCouga,
Yep.
had met him briefly at a comedy show, and I just knew who he was, and we were tweeting back and forth, that famous the tweet wars.
Right.
But then I remember we went to a B-Dubs, the one across the street,
Yep.
and you two were sitting there, and Justine Marino with Ellis and Christian, and I didn't know what was going on. And hey guys, nice to see you again, nice to meet you. And then we walked across the street, and you guys came with us.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, what are they doing? Why are they coming up to the show? I didn't know I'm the producer. I didn't. And Christian's like, oh, they're joining the show.
Perfect.
It's like more mouths to feed, Harloff.
That sounds about right with Christian. So as the now future producer of Collider Live, I'm sure that this is. Wait, they're going to be on
Stand
the
by.
show?
If you
Stand
have-
by.
Here's how you manage Harloff.
Yeah.
You don't.
You don't.
You just keep them from falling.
Yeah.
And that's all you do.
Perfect.
And you can't hope to do anything else. You don't.
That's
You
about
shouldn't
it.
want to. Let him do what he got. Let him.
No,
let
you-
him.
you
Let his
have to.
brain go where his brain wants to
His
go.
brain is as you said, there is a genius portion of that
And
brain.
but
that
you've
you
known
wanna,
him longer
You want to
than me.
let stretch out.
Yeah, you've known him longer than me. Yeah,
I have. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I had heard about you because I knew Christian from stand up.
Right.
And we may have seen each other before. I had run and met Tom Dagnina, run into him long before I knew him.
Right.
As Finstuck, when he showed up, I was like, "Oh, that guy. Yeah, okay. I thought that guy was cool. He's not." And then now he's my favorite.
Yeah.
I had heard
Mine
of you
too.
because you had written a script that almost got. I mean, the tale of it almost getting made.
Right. Right. The
And
Masters of the Universe
yeah,
thing.
you were making a movie, and here I moved. One of the reasons I moved to LA 20 years ago now
Wow.
was to write screenplays.
Yeah.
And though I've written a lot, I'd never gotten to move forward with that. And
Yeah.
so I was a little bit like, who's this Reilly guy hanging around with Christian writing He-Man pictures?
He collects us.
Yes.
He collects us and puts us out like action figures.
Yeah. But it's also, it just speaks to, the negative side of human nature where you, instead of going, who's this interesting cat? Because Christian likes him, someone I work with and respect and like. So if he likes Mark, I should be interested in
Right.
find out. And this suddenly, immediately your walls kind of go up. That's kind of human nature.
I do the same.
Yeah.
And you have to feel them out. And some of my earliest memories with you, feeling you out, was talking about my divorce.
Yeah, that's right.
We were talking about my divorce. And I think you did come to a Star Wars trilogy in 30 minutes show.
That's, I think, where I
Or it was
first
after.
met you.
Yes.
No, that's met you. What? That's a
Met you.
word, met you?
It is a word now.
That's where I first met you.
Okay.
Is Christian and I did go to Star Wars in 60.
It was 60 by then.
Yes.
Right.
And that
We
is where I
added
first met
the
you.
prequels. Yeah.
And even then,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, who the hell is this Mark guy? He's writing scripts. He's in cool Star Wars shows. Is he living my life?
Yeah, right.
And turned to find out you'd be one of my favorite people in the world.
And that's where I'm going with this because, it was kind of instant with you. And I love the kids when they say, God, Ken, he scared me. You would always scare the newbies or the kids, the codsters, the Codys, the interns. And I could see that, but I also felt like there was a kind of a kindred spirit in there.
Kindred grumpiness?
Yes. Yeah. I can be grumpy without feeling judged.
You're emotional.
Around you.
Yeah. I am too.
And now it's a full 7 years, 8 years. What is it now? This is 2013, we'll say.
5 to 6 years since we started this journey, yeah.
And some of the best text conversations.
Oh,
I mean, we always check in pretty much every day. I would say we'll check in.
Generally, you're one of the go-to texts I make.
Yeah,
and then you, me, and Roger Craig Smith have a good text chain that's still going.
I wish I could show it, but I'll just tease it.
Not a good idea.
It's not a good idea to share this text.
It's not that anything bad. I don't want anyone to think there's anything horrible on there. It's just
we talk about Joey Razul.
Oh yeah, the head of Collider Games.
Yeah, head of Collider Games. We talk him. Oh hey Joey, he's behind the camera right now.
Yeah.
That's what you get now with the new added video
component. You get us yelling off screen at people.
And everybody listening at home, which by the way, thank you for that. I really appreciate you listening at home. Are like, where did this go?
Yeah.
But that's what I remember walking from the Toad Hop Studios over to was it Toad Hop?
Yeah, it was Toad Hop. But we
why did that sound weird in my mind?
Toad Hop Studios? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you're at Toad Hop Studios.
But walking
Hollywood
to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, Hollywood and Vine.
And starting to talk to you and going like, this guy gets it.
Yeah.
This guy gets it.
Like-minded.
And I started to look because it's funny. I came in as a theater kind of writer, producer guy. And when Christian wanted to put me on Schmoes Know live show, I was like, cool, and I liked it. But I remember going up and getting on the mic and being awful and feeling like it's a different brain thing for me. And
the podcast. The
podcasting.
Gotcha.
And I would go home, and this is my anxiety taking over. You get free stuff here with the Reilly Roundtable. You get, like, psyche stuff. My anxiety, which I have horrible anxiety,
right.
I would go home, and I would sit on my couch with Cal, and I was single at the time, and I'd be like, what the hell did I just say? What? Oh, my God, these fans are going to, what did I say? And I'd worry about it, and I'd lay in bed and be like, and then by contrast to that, I would watch you get on the mic, and I'm like, that guy gets it. That guy knows how to be on the mic. You're so funny. Like, you're the perfect example of you quickly thinking on your feet is when Gremlins, 3 rules of Gremlins, it's like, like a goth girl.
Yeah.
I can't do that. That's what I love about Ken Napzok. That was so perfect.
Yeah, it's just a lot of practice since I was 3.
Right, so 3.
3, yeah.
You're on the mic at 3?
Yeah, my dad had an old reel-to-reel and a little microphone, and there's tapes of it, and I had him make a copy for me.
Okay.
And then I lost that copy, so I don't know if he still has it. I think so. Got to find that out. It'd be important. But anyways, I think I've said this on the Napzok file, so apologize for the repeat. But he would sit down with me, and I was about 3 or 4, and we'd record stories. We'd improv stories. And this one
where the rider comes in, too.
Yeah, and we were in a park, and I was a park ranger, and my dad was the bear. My dad came up and, hi, I'm the bear. And we have and we just would talk, and it was one of my favorite things. And then later on...
That makes sense.
Yeah, later on I had like a little Fisher-Price. It was not like for 5-year-olds. I was like 9 or 10.
Okay.
And I had a little tape deck that you could record on, a little internal microphone, and I'd do a show. I'd host a show every week. For who? No one.
That makes sense.
I
love this.
Play back and listen to it, and I'd interview my sister, and it was like a fix-it show. I'm 10 years old. I'm not handy.
Yeah,
I can't change my oil in my car. I can finally hang pictures. But I was like, I'll show you how to fix your roller skates, and I just created this character. And then in 8th grade, I started with a tape deck, like a clock radio, and a boombox with a microphone, recording songs off the radio. So I'd have them on one cassette, and then I just was a DJ.
That's
and
amazing.
I started interviewing. I created characters, including a producer character, and I'd have like an empty paper towel tube, and be like, "Hey, you gotta go to commercial," and I just would do that.
I just looked at the camera.
Yeah,
that's funny. I was just
it's
like,
weird. Yeah,
so look at this guy.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So you were where'd you go to college again? It was
I went 2 years at Allen Hancock Community College
right.
in Santa Maria, California.
Yeah.
I had graduated high school with kind of. It's so weird. You look back and look at the mistakes of your life. When I hit,
we have plenty, dude.
yeah. When I am going. It goes back to elementary school. I am a very smart person. All right.
Damn right you are.
Well, no, I'll say that. I'll say I'm very smart.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
And
you hate being smart?
Yeah, I'm not motivated by it. So it seems, but you know, in elementary school, you and I have the same generation. I think it's still around. I don't know, but there was something called GATE.
Oh yeah,
gifted
GATE.
and talented. I don't know what it was. And they'd pluck you out of your class.
Yep, I got plucked.
You'd go in another room.
And I did worse.
Yeah.
They put me in GATE, and I did awful.
Yeah.
Because I was A's, and then I went to C's.
See, mine was you could go for like an hour a week or something. You get pulled out of class and you go in a separate little room with a teacher, and there's like 4 of you, and you learn. And it's like, you're the smart kids. Yeah. Let the other dum-dums have their 2 + 2 = chicken. That's a Brian Regan joke, by the way.
Don't let us down. You're our future.
2 + 2 = chicken. Brian Regan, the best comic of all time. And I just felt I didn't like it. I was like, why are you taking me out of class?
Yeah.
And so then I think I had the opportunity to go further or maybe have an entire class as GATE. And I told my mom I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I wish I'd been maybe forced to, because then what happened, it starts a pattern in my life. 9th grade starts, I was on the 4-year plan in high school because I wanted to go to Syracuse to become a Major League Baseball broadcaster.
Oh.
That was my goal.
That makes a lot of sense, too.
That's what I wanted to do.
I might say that a lot.
Sure.
This makes a lot of sense.
I wanted to play baseball, but I knew even then I didn't make the baseball team. I wasn't that great. I had a great baseball mind. Yeah. Later on, I proved I was an award-winning baseball coach. Couldn't play, right? Yeah. But I want to be
broadcasting for baseball.
That's what I want to do, because this is all I would do, was listen to baseball on the radio.
Right.
Little roller behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it. Greatest call of all time for me.
Nice.
So that was 9th grade.
Yeah.
By 11th grade, I was in counseling, and I told everyone I was going to be homeless, and I wanted to move to Seattle to be a homeless man.
And this is right around the grunge time, I would say.
I hate grunge. I don't know. I was a Beatles man all the way, Britpop all the way. And was severely depressed.
Yeah.
And
I went there, yeah.
Then senior year, got back into drama.
Okay.
I was one of the top speech and debate drama students of my junior high. I won awards.
Makes sense.
I won awards.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I won awards adapting Bill Cosby comedy routines into award-winning speeches.
Oh my God!
So that's awkward
perfect
on a lot of levels.
Yeah, it's awkward now.
Why is this little
5 years
white
ago?
kid from Arroyo Grande being Fat Albert? Why is this happening? And then you had what happened later.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So
that's hysterical.
Yeah. So I was this like top prospect, recruited. Again, go back to GATE. I was recruited to be on my high school speech and debate team in the drama department.
Okay.
I said no.
You said no.
Said no. Don't want to do it.
Okay.
And for 3 years, I didn't do it. Then I got into drama 12th grade, did some Shakespeare and stuff. My friend Manu Intireme, who went on to be on Deep Space Nine. He's still down here in L.A. My friends Chris McNeil and Ami Arad, all these people I knew back then. And I was really good. And then it was like, cool, I'm going to get in the entertainment industry.
Right.
And then I went to college to learn screenwriting, film and video production, and I was going to write my George Lucas movies.
Of course.
And I dropped out.
Yeah.
Dropped out. So it's this horrible pattern.
So, but you dropped out, but then you went into broadcast.
I started my second year, I'd written a lot of bad scripts, which is what you're supposed to do.
Oh, yeah. You should read some of them.
Made some really weird videos.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most of my influences at the time were the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah, so I made these weird psychedelic stuff, but I've never done a drug in my life.
I love it.
Yeah, and then I started working at a UHF TV station.
Oh,
and we were I was the floor director.
Okay.
My friend Matt was learning to be the technical director, the live switcher and everything. And my friend Joel, Gavin, and Jeff, we all did stuff on the floor. Live show, Monday through Friday night, 7 o'clock every night. We went to this house in an avocado farm in Napomo, California, and we broadcast there. The host on Thursday nights dropped out.
Wow.
So at 18 years old, they turned to me and said,
host.
Ken, would you like to host once a week? Oh, great. I'm going to be Letterman.
Yeah.
Because I thought.
Well, that's how it starts.
Yeah, senior year.
And legitimately, that's how it starts.
Yeah, and so senior year, my like senior quote is like Leno, Letterman, Napzok. I'm jumping to conclusions, and I did jump to conclusions because that didn't happen yet. But anyways, that's so I started hosting that show, and it was bad. There's tape. I have tapes of it. If you go to one of my Facebook or something, there's a picture of me at 18, and it says KSSY TV. That's me hosting one of the shows.
Nice.
And it was,
Little
but it was great.
Kenny Napzok.
So I hosted a live show every Thursday at 18 years of age. I had to write. Me and my friends wrote material. We had guests and all that kind of stuff. Shot in a living room. Not unlike this, actually. I've come full circle.
Yeah.
Did that. But I met the local radio hosts.
Okay.
John Mackey and Freddie B, the morning show hosts for KWBR 95.3 FM, K Bear 95, California's Rock and Roll Bear. And I was obsessed with being a DJ. Again, going back to my youth. So started interning with them.
Okay.
Me and my friend Matt did. And so I was still going to college. And then all of a sudden, I was working at working at a convalescent home in the kitchen. I was cleaning dishes and stuff.
Jeez, my dad did that.
Yeah, using one of the big
That's what he did in college.
Yeah. I did it for 16, 17, 18, 19, like 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And they finally said, hey, you intern. I would go 6 in the morning, go to the morning show, pull the CDs, go get the coffee and donuts, all that stuff you would do. And then they started having me, John Mackey, was the program director and co-host with Freddie B. John had me call in. Hey, we don't have any callers for the contest. Can you call in and pretend to be someone?
Nice.
So I'd call in. I started, what do I do? And he's like, I don't know, just do something. I'm going to take you live on air. So at first it was like, hi, can I get the tickets? Yeah, you went, okay.
Thanks,
then I was
sir.
like, what am I doing? This isn't. So one day, I go in the other room, and he takes the call, and he's like, hey, who's this? I'm like, hi, it's Roscoe. He's like, who's that? I'm like, yeah, it's Roscoe, man. I have the she farm up there in the north there. I'm coming around there. I want them tickets. And I was probably, making, I don't know if Boomhauer was out, but it was that type of thing. And he was dying laughing.
Okay.
And he's like, you're funny. And I'm like, yeah. So
he
started using me. And then I got hired. $5 an hour.
Okay.
And I would write the jokes and bits for them, and I'd fill it on the weekends at a graveyard shift, DJ stuff, and then fill in other times. And then I said, hey, what if I was to do music news? And he was like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. And I said, I'll pre-record it after the show, 10 a.m. I'll do it live.
Okay.
And then I'll tape it on a reel-to-reel. And you used to have to slice it with razors and all that stuff.
Oh, my God.
And I'll put it to cart, and the DJs can play it the rest of the day throughout the shift. He's like, great. So I was like, I need some music. I'm a wrestling fan. I'll grab Bret Hart's. Put that on. I did it, and it was funny, and it was my Dennis Miller Weekend Update stuff.
Yeah.
And that's years later we ended up doing the schmo. So that all started then. So I dropped out. I didn't even graduate junior college.
Right.
Didn't finish any classes. And I just said, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, and it's the entertainment business. So a lot of people would ask me, like, do you need to go to college for acting? Acting in particular.
Where do I go to be an actress?
For producing, writing. Look, writing, you can go to college and get some skills. Acting, go take a class. I don't think you need to go to college.
Right.
Biggest waste, and sorry, Dad, was my theater degree.
Right.
I do believe it was a waste. However, I won't say complete waste because I met so many people.
Yeah.
And that I still work with today. You know some of my buddies, Bryce and David over at Drama 3-4. I met Danny Strong over there, who's now huge.
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls, creator of Empire.
Yeah.
He's locked in. But anyways, it's beside the point. When did you, so you came down in 98.
Yeah.
And that was, I want to be in entertainment.
Yeah.
What was that moment where you said, it's writing, it's broadcasting, it's write movies? What was it?
So when I was in radio, my career was going really well, but it was a very small station. I wasn't great at times. There's air checks I have that I'm like, oof, I was learning. I was 20.
Yeah.
I was 20, and there was other people in their 40s at the radio station like, who the hell is this guy? And now at 42, I look at some of these people working here. I'm like, who the hell is these guys?
Oh, yeah.
What are they in my seat for? But I get it. That's how it's supposed to go. And I'm supposed to graciously step aside.
Right.
And back then, I was getting the shot. I was 20. I was cheap. That was the thing.
Yeah.
They gave me and Maddie D the morning show because we were like...
Hasn't changed much in the entertainment business.
It hasn't, because it was like, cool, will you guys accept $5 an hour? Yeah, this is the greatest gig ever. I'm living at home. And then I got the guy on the night shift with 2 kids who has 3 jobs, and he's like, can I get the morning show? They're like, sure. You accept $5 an hour? No, how about 15? No, we can't do that. Ken and Matt are cheap.
Yeah.
That's why I had the show. But I was learning. But I a little bit like Luke Skywalker. My mind was never on where I was. And so I was like, well, I want to be on Saturday Night Live. That was always a dream of mine.
Okay. I knew that.
I want to write stories like George Lucas.
Yep.
And other screenwriters. And by this time I was getting more into film. I believe it or not, there was a time where I watched every movie in theaters and could tell you every Oscar-nominated movie.
You are a movie lover. If you have gaps, it's because of...
Yeah, if you take me through the mid-'90s or '90s, if it was just Schmodown '90s, I'd be up for a championship contender.
Yeah, you probably would.
So it's like, cool, and then I want to get out of this town.
Yeah.
And that's
Pismo Beach.
Pismo Beach. My radio station, I always lived in a town called Arroyo Grande. It's called the 5 Cities. So literally you drive 2 minutes one way, you're in another city. Yeah. But it's the 5 Cities.
And because I pass this, my favorite place, which you know, is Cambria, which I'm going to this weekend.
Oh, God bless you.
And we go to Paso Robles, and then
Paso Robles.
Robles.
Yeah, and it's a weird time.
I always say that.
Well, because then people will correct me as if I'm saying it as a wrong person.
And I don't know why.
That is how the town wants it said. It's like Prescott, Arizona versus, it's not Prescott, it's Prescott. It's Paso Robles.
Boise.
Boise, yeah.
Not Boise.
Yes, not Boise. Boise.
We learned that from Roger.
Yes. I learned that from my ex-girlfriend went to college there, lived there in Idaho, so she'd always be like, no, it's Boise.
It's so funny.
So, yeah, Paso Robles.
Paso Robles. So I pass your town
all the
way
time
up.
on the 101, yeah.
So
you not only pass my town, you pass my mom and dad's house. Where I was in college, yeah.
Is it? Where is it? It's like off the 101?
It's off the 101. Yeah, I don't want to say exactly.
No.
There's people that listen that are fans over there, but it's the freeway passes right by us.
Wow. Yeah, I love the area, and I remember you telling me about some chocolate wine at one point to go check out up at Cambria at Madeline's, I think.
I think I don't ever remember the name, but you go there more than I do.
Yeah, now I go there. It's my thing. It's where we talked about it on the
Cambria's
Napzok files. It's where I got engaged. So
that
was the fun stuff. But I'm so glad you did make it down here because I know you got into it. I know you did the groundlings for a while.
Trained there for 4 years, along with the rest of the city. But I had a great time.
You went pretty far.
I went very far.
Yeah,
I went very
of course
far.
You did.
Yeah, and then you just kind of run into some. I wasn't a great actor.
Okay.
I was a great actor in junior high.
Yeah.
And then you kind of realize I'm not a great actor. And I was doing scenes. I tell you this. A lot of people know I worked. My advanced class had Kristen Wiig in it, Mikey Day, Nicole Randall Johnson, Tim Blaney, who's a puppeteer. He did the voice of Johnny Five in Short Circuit, and Frank the Pug, and he's actually in that Happy Time Murders. Right, he's one of the puppeteers in that one.
Nice.
He was actually at that event, the speakeasy with the puppet. He was one of the puppeteers there.
That's so
Brian Keith Etheridge, Peter Sprite, Andrew Hotcher, who's a commercial actor. You've seen every commercial. Hayes Hargrove, Amy Witry, Melinda Hill. This is a powerhouse.
Amy Witry.
A
friend of mine.
Yeah. Melinda Hill's a great stand-up and everything. It's a powerhouse of a class.
Yeah.
And I was in a scene that I wrote with Andrew Hotry where I play a delivery boy, like a 13-year-old newspaper guy who goes to collect the bill from a young married couple that's in the process of getting divorced. And he ends up counseling them and becoming like Dr. Phil. He's 13. Well, now, tell you what. And I hear I'm pretending I'm trying to be a 13-year-old.
Okay.
I'm only 26. And I'm in the scene, and I wrote this line that was it was not a joke. It was just a line. And Andrew's a great performer, and he's killing it. And then I'm on this couch on the groundling stage, in the main stage, with Kristen Wiig, and the line was, I told him the truth, because he comes in and is like, what did you tell this kid? And she's like, I told him the truth.
Okay.
She got the biggest laugh of the sketch in that. She was like, I told him the truth. I'm doing it bad. And the crowd's, and I'm on stage in the show, Reilly, and I'm looking at her, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I'm a writer. I am not a performer. What am I doing here on this stage?
That's great.
What am I doing?
You have to go through that to get there.
And working with them, and Mikey Day, who's on SNL right now, and he's spectacular.
Yeah.
And I turned to him, my first class in advance, we weren't expected to bring sketches, but if you had some, we had a little bit of time after the introduction of the class. We have about 20 minutes. Anyone want to throw these sketches?
Yeah.
So I had a sketch I'd written about two guys who they're playing around on ice, and one of them falls through.
Okay.
And the other one saves him, but the guy has this near-death experience, and his life changes.
Okay.
And he gets up to go help the world, and he's like, my life now has meaning. And as he gets up, his friend falls through the ice, but he's so lost in the clouds with his life changing, he leaves, and his friend dies. And so I just turned to Mikey Day, who at the time was, I think, a couple years younger than me. We're the youngest in the class. Everyone else was young, by the way.
Yeah, right. I get you.
And I just go, hey, hi, I'm Ken. He's like, I'm Mikey. I'm like, do you want to be in my scene? He's like, yeah. So I give him a copy of the script, and we go up there. Nail it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this kid, Mikey, is something else, too. But later on, people told me, when you threw up that sketch, I realized, one of my friends told me, because I realized, oh, crap, people are here to not play.
Yeah.
Your writing was so great.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe that. And I wish I believed that.
Yeah.
So it affected me, and my groundless career kind of ended because I spun myself out of thinking I belonged there.
Well, that is a thing that writers do.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. There's some times that I go back. I didn't have the Groundlings experience. I never. That's why I always marvel when I worked with you and Josh on some of the Collider.
Macuga, yeah. His name's Josh Macuga.
Josh Macuga.
Yeah.
You guys, I just would like your handle on comedy was always something that I would inspire me.
And it's different. We're different. Yeah.
We're different writers, but I love writing screenplays and horror movies and big budget things. But I remember a project that I wish I would have stuck with it.
Yeah.
Because I think I probably would have sold it sooner or later. I've gotten close, but I've given up a lot.
Yeah.
And in that, I'm done here. This script has gone as far as it can go.
Poof, yeah.
And shit, if J.K. Rowling said that, we would have no Harry Potter. So in that, I can identify with it because I've given up on certain things, but I've come back around to new projects.
Yeah.
Because the entertainment business, let's talk about that. It can kick your ass.
Yeah,
And
it's really tough.
It could be tough, but I found somewhat of a family in the Schmoes Know crew and you and Josh Macuga and Mark Ellis and Christian Harloff. Those are the guys, and Tom Dagnino, that I think about with my time with the Schmoes Know.
Yeah, and Tiffany Smith.
And Tiffany Smith, of course. Tiffany, who I love because she'll just randomly text me. Every month, Tiffany texts me.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, she did. Well, she's
so wonderful like that.
I don't know when this comes out, but on
tomorrow, today.
So on the upcoming episode of the Afternoons, we got her into the studio, me and Josh, and we talked about that.
Yeah.
And now it's a concerted effort on her point to reach out to everyone in her life.
Yeah.
Monthly to check on them. And she's so great.
It
for a lot of reasons, but that's
it just, and it's never forced with her.
No,
she's just like, and we get in a conversation, we talk, and then when I get to see her, it's such a treat.
Tiffy time, I call it Tiffy time.
Yeah, and I call her Tweets. I'll always call her Tweets because of Tiffany Tweets, her handle. So finding that, it was weird because we both wanted to do writing, groundlings, similar things, entertainment.
Write Star Wars.
Write Star Wars. God, I would love to write a Star Wars movie. Love to write a Star Wars movie with you.
Yes.
And then we find ourselves in this.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it is a career.
Yeah.
It is, and I've said it on the Reilly Roundtable before, and I even think I said it on Napzok Files, so we're repeating ourselves a little bit. But like kind of falling into it, and it's such a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But it's something that I never thought would happen, and then moreover, the social media aspect of it.
It's both given us our career.
Yeah.
Made it tougher at times.
Yeah.
Made it difficult, but at the end of the day, it's a positive thing.
It is a positive. I'll always end it with it's positive.
Yeah.
And now I've come to, I'm going to make fun of social media then. Because you're making fun of me sometimes on social media.
Well, a lot of people are getting to that point. I was just doing an interview. It's coming out on Force Center soon with Hello Greedo.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a great guy. And he was 2011 he started his channel.
Wow.
And he's like, I don't go on Twitter anymore. I just can't. I go on to promote.
Yeah.
And that's a different thing. But as far as the entertainment career and us, we've taken different paths.
Yeah.
Meaning us collectively.
Right.
Because I moved here with no cell phone.
Nice. I remember those cell phones.
Because I didn't my first
Well, 98?
98.
I didn't have a cell phone.
I didn't have a cell phone until 2001.
Yeah.
Moved here, there wasn't internet because I would put on my AOL disk. That's how I signed. I went to groundlings.com, which was like a GeoCity site.
Yeah.
How do I sign up? Oh, you still have to call humans, and I had to call and make an appointment and all this kind of stuff, which terrified me because I have social anxiety when it comes to that.
Yeah,
calling people, meeting strangers, and all that stuff. Yeah, it was a different path, and you didn't know necessarily how to do it.
No.
You know, and it was like writers group. A friend of mine, a pastor of my old church, who's since passed away, Ron Salisbury, great guy. He had a friend, an old college buddy or something, wrote, what was it, Richard Gere, Jodie Foster, Civil War, Summersby?
Oh,
I think it was,
Summersby. Yeah.
He wrote it. And so
Wow.
he was in L.A., and so Pastor Ron put me in contact with him, and the guy called me and was like, hey, you just got to write.
Yeah.
Find writers groups.
Yeah.
And then good luck with you. And he didn't mean that in a bad way. He's like, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And so it was a different time. So it was so different than the Groundlings and that. It was so traditional. It was so traditional.
Yeah.
And I remember about my roommate at the time, Joel, was in his started a little punk rock band, a little pop punk band after Blink-182 type stuff, early 2000s, right? So he had recording gear in his house, in our house.
Okay.
He could on his computer, which was like, what? So I said,
"You're rich."
You remember when I was at K-Bear? Because he worked there for a little bit, too. I got him a part-time job there before we all moved down to L.A. So remember when I was at K-Bear and I would record the movie news and stuff? And he's like, yeah. I said, can I do that? Can I use your equipment? It's like, yeah, great. So I went in there and I recorded some demos of updated movie news.
Okay.
It's like 2000, 2001.
Wow.
But it sounded okay. I didn't know how to do it. But then I was like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
How do I get this out?
Yeah.
Do I get a website? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
You can't now I can go to Weebly and you can go to napzokfiles.podomatic.net and go to my website that I built in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it was a little different, and I couldn't get it out. Now, our friend Dave, your friend more than mine back then, David Fickus.
Yeah.
They go viral in 1999 with Anakin Skywalker auditions.
Yeah,
for the
the
prequels.
Anakin auditions. Yeah.
And David Fickus will tell you it cost him money.
Oh God.
It ruined him almost.
They
You had to pay for bandwidth and stuff.
I mean, it's like he conjures to mind like when you're in those missile launch movies where it goes red and it's like we need to do the backup, and oh my God, it cost them money.
Yeah, because now he'd be like, oh, I got 15 million views, I'm successful. Then it was like, oh, we're broke. This damn video worked. So my point, all that is, in 2000 and 2001, if I had done that weekly, the movie news, not to a live audience, just me in my bedroom in Canoga Park, California, my career might have gone different. Who knows?
Might have been.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it. Now I can do all that on my phone. Instagram TV, I put out my motivational videos from my phone.
Well, it's the same thing, I would think, that you're doing it now. So even though we're older, so to speak.
Oh, yeah, this gray and my beard's old.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. It's happening.
I'm going full Obi-Wan in the desert.
I can't wait. But you can still stick with it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in this for the long haul.
We're in this, but all this to say, I'm rambling. I apologize, but it's like
I like it. I'm letting you ramble because
I told you I'm in a sentimental mood. I'm looking back 20 years,
and that's what this is turning into. That's what I wanted because I'm always on the other side, which I like.
Yeah,
and I ramble and talk about whatever but I wanted to talk about how you got here.
Yeah,
and the social media aspect is fun because to talk about because I always feel like I'm kind of in your camp because we pretty much stick to the fun.
Yeah.
I don't get political. Every once in a while, I do.
Sure.
I try to stay away from the like the gang up fashion of.
I hate takedown culture. I hate Twitter lynch mobs because it's gonna go against your side one day,
right?
And you're gonna be, what monster did you create? Because there's been some great things that have happened. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But then the flip side, you want a war, you might get a war,
and
are you prepared for that? And that's why I don't like the takedown culture.
That's what that's why I keep it to like. Here's the show. Here's a funny thought of mine. Here's mostly movies because I do love my movies, and I'm going to post about a Rocket, Groot, and Thor movie that I want.
Perfect.
That's what I do. But for some reason, it occurred to me with social media and then knowing that you're coming on because we're what I feel is a kindred spirit. We write. We have deep thoughts. We want to get it out there. Social media is so weird for that. For me, at least.
Yeah, there's no nuance anymore, and I don't think there ever was.
No. I think it started hot. It's still hot.
Yeah.
But my point is, I look at my Twitter following, and I go, "What the fuck?" who are these people? What do I have to say?
Yeah.
It just feels weird.
It's
having to share, not having to, but sharing something and getting an interaction and being like, wow, this people like this.
You just have to accept that you have a voice and a personality. That's the last conversation I had with John Shep. I always say Shep.
Yeah.
John Schnepp.
Yeah.
Good old sweaty, our king, the one we just lost.
I know.
I didn't work with him as regularly as a lot of you guys did here after I left.
Right.
So it was very weird that I ran into him in an alley out here in Burbank.
I know, you told
and
me
normally we'd be like, hey, John, hey, Ken, and we'd pass. But we just stopped, and I was waiting for you.
Yeah.
And he and I talked, and, he knew where I was going. I'm unemployed. I don't know what my future is. And I've got my stuff I do. I don't know if that's enough or what. And he was like, man, you just gotta accept that you have this. You have a voice.
Yeah.
You have something people want, and then be respectful of that. And he loved it because he had this whole other career.
Oh, yeah.
I knew John as a name attached to projects and Metalocalypse.
Yeah, I know.
I can never say it.
Oh God!
But when I was creating my animated show with my friends Matt Key and Jack Conway and Matt Mercer, we would look to that show, and I knew Schnepp as the director, one of the directors. So he had this whole life. Well, my old roommate worked with him at Titmouse in the early 2000s.
Holly just posted a Titmouse thing.
My friend Dave knows him from then. That's the influence he had. But point being, his whole second career pops up with digital media, and he told me, man, you just have to accept that in a good way. That you don't question why people want to hear you talk about things. You have it, you have that, and use it and know that you have a voice. And it was great. And then, all right, John, I'll see you. Last I saw him. So,
and that's a lesson there. I mean, at least.
So God bless you, John. I'm still waiting for my episode 9 spoilers. You told me you'd give them to me.
Yeah.
So I asked for them at least. Going back to this and social media, and John's a great case.
Yeah.
I love what Holly said on the memorial episode. Like, if you're a fan and have been watching him on Movie Talk and Heroes, God bless you. We're thankful. Go seek out what else he did. But that goes to what we said. We all had to do this more traditionally, and then this all pops up, and I think we're entertainers. And for me, it's like broadcasting. It's digital media broadcasting. It's all moving into the same thing. But it's weird because there's a generation, no fault of their own, only because of their age,
right?
Who are now, I have a cousin who's like 11 or 12. I want to get into YouTube.
Yeah.
And they don't see it as the traditional stuff, which is great.
My sister, who is a 5th grade teacher, wants me to speak to her class on creating a YouTube channel, which I told her I've never created a YouTube channel in my life. I just work for one. I don't know what you do. Yeah. I mean, I have my own, but
I mean, it's great.
But yeah, they want to do this.
It changes.
It changes, and I thought about this the other day because I always had in my mind, at one point I was going to be a famous actor, and then I got out. When I got out of USC, I did. I kind of had what you had when you were at Groundlings and went, ooh, I'm a writer. I did that when I was auditioning for the LA County Fair, and they went, okay, you're on a roller coaster.
Right.
Go. I go, what? Yeah. I'm on a what? Well, we'll go right now. Oh, act like I'm on a roller coaster. Okay. Whoa! Thank you. Oh, okay. Walk out and I go, fuck this.
Yeah.
Man, fuck this. I hate it, and I did so many of those auditions. In the meantime, I'm writing all the time because I was creative, and then slowly became apparent I really liked writing more, and so that's where I focused on. But
my old friend of mine, Patrick Keene, look him up. Patrick Keene, one of the funniest people out there, has a joke that goes, "Got my new headshots back today. Looks like I'm going to be a writer." Patrick Keene is one of the funniest people out there. So
the headshots and all the the nonsense. But then writing, and I had a little bit more success in there. But falling into this. So my point being, the other day, I was here and I'm walking in my computer and I'm like, hey, this is it. This is pretty cool.
It's cool.
I should be okay with this.
Should be, yeah. I have a tendency to look beyond what I want to do. That's my Luke Skywalker Yoda problem.
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm constantly looking for pastures that are greener.
Yeah.
What if scenarios, future, never his mind on where he was, what he should be doing. And it's funny. I miss out on, and this is where I feel like I'm a kindred spirit with you, because we can have these deep conversations via text.
Via text.
Which is a whole other podcast.
Making fun of people on Instagram. But
yes.
But the flip side is that there's a danger too, because I got out of the day job after 17 years that I was doing in LA,
right,
and went full time into this, and it was like I made it,
right,
and then discovered the situations weren't perfect,
right,
and didn't allow myself to deal with that.
yeah.
And that's a danger too. Well, I should be thankful. I was a security director. I fought with gang members. I had someone die in front of me.
You are. Oh, God.
Yeah. I had this crazy, insane job that people think is this silly punchline because I watch a stupid Kevin James movie.
Right.
And here I am, literally wrestling around on the floor for a knife, hoping the guy doesn't stab me first with it at this job. And then I get out of that, and I'm like, cool. All I have to do is talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Something's not right here, but I suppressed it, and didn't deal with it. And then it exploded to where now I'm happier where I am because I've learned what I want. I want a little more solitude, want my own brand, a little more control of some things. But I had to learn that in a bad way because I wasn't fun to work with the last couple months here because I was miserable and I didn't know why.
And I could see. And we had conversations. We would do our walks, and we would have conversations. And
so all to say, I'm not. You can be thankful and should be more thankful.
Yeah.
And my mistake is not dealing with problems and creating solutions sooner. Well, but that also, at the same time, I think it's important that people don't deny if you know something's not right, even though it should be. We've all been in those situations. I want cake for dinner.
Yes.
You get it? This is making me feel sick. I eat more. Be careful. Maybe put the cake down. And
well, it's a good point. I think you're referencing, I have been looking over my shoulder where it's, okay, we're in new media.
Yeah.
I worry about a future in this. I worry about...
People, jobs are dropping every day.
Yes. Fandom.
We just lost
a lot of people.
You know, I know friends of mine who I worked with at Screen Junkies.
Yeah.
Who got laid off shortly after I left Screen Junkies.
Yeah.
And they're still looking for work.
Yes.
And so a lot of what the great thing is, though, go back to that room, my bedroom in Canoga Park, or my roommate's bedroom in Canoga Park in 2000, 2001, that me sitting down on a computer to write and tape and record and put together my movie news.
Right.
And then I didn't know what to do with it because I didn't have a way of getting it out. That's changed.
Yes.
And so now I can do stuff. My house, my apartment is my studio.
Oh, yeah.
I have these mics at home, and I can do it all. And if you want to roll up your sleeves and get into it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And I encourage everyone to try. I do want people to be more entertaining, more entertainer-like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
One of the things I find working in this industry when I bring in some guests, and there are some people who are spectacular, have 12 million subscribers because they look at a camera and go, "Hey guys," and I'm not making fun of that. That's a skill.
Yeah.
But then you get them on a live set, and they're not entertained. We are entertainers because we started in entertainment.
Yeah.
And this opened up. Christian and Mark Ellis, 2007, go, we're going to start reviewing movies on this YouTube. And the rest of us comics were like, why are you doing that?
Oh, I was one of those people too.
Yeah.
Friends with Christian. And then it was
what
all
are you doing?
The Facebook messages, subscribe to this, to this.
MySpace messages.
MySpace messages. Right. I remember
Mark Ellis and I review, Gattaca.
I remember my ex yelling from another room, going, "I'm sick of these messages."
And Christian's
and I go,
roast
"Just unsubscribe then."
Yeah, but that's how you did it. But that's where I give Christian Mark credit because Mark is still a stand-up.
Yeah.
Christian was in development, but then they're like, "Hey, here's this new thing," and you have to, as an old dog, us Gran Torinos, have to look around and go, "What else is out there?" And I just I hope a lot of people ask me, "Hey, Ken, can I get some advice?"
Yeah.
You speaking to this 5th grade class.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Be honest. Hey, guys, connect with that camera. Be an entertainer. Be a broadcaster. There's a lot of people who have the name host on their bios, and they're not hosts. And it drives me crazy. And I get a little, that's my little Gran Torino, get off my lawn.
Right. Well, you've earned that.
We were 20 years in, you learn this stuff. I was in radio 95 is the first time I spoke professionally.
Yeah.
And not saying I'm perfect, and in my career I wish it was, but like that grinds me a little bit because we used to bring people in to other shows.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, you got this 8 million subscribers and you're on, and then you sit and you just...
It's so weird.
Someone after one of the Star Wars celebration, we did the live movie trivia schmodown for the Star Wars Championship, which I'm happy to say was the first winner.
When
I'll
you
never
won.
compete again, but 500 people, and someone this is very nice came to me. They're a Star Wars YouTuber. We're like, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We're in our room and we're doing good, and we have living, talking about Star Wars and editing these little videos and these jump cuts and all this stuff. We can't do what you guys do.
Right.
And I was like, that's because I did stand up for 10 years. Because on stage, we are performers.
Right.
And I think too much of digital media now, it's people who feel, I read comics and I have an opinion about it. Are you entertaining? This is still entertainment. Twitter to me is entertainment. I play a character.
Yes.
It's real. It's me. It's my problems, but it's a character.
Here's a perfect example of that. And a tweet I put out yesterday, I said, the day of clean eating continues. I had egg whites and turkey bacon. I had a ginger lemon apple shot for breakfast. I then had light tuna mayo and, okay, I had Popeye's chicken. Are you happy? Because somebody brought in Popeye's chicken.
I saw that.
And Julie last night is finally getting to Twitter. My fiance, who does not do Twitter at all,
God
she
bless
catches up on Twitter.
Yeah, God bless her.
And she's like, wait a minute. You didn't have egg whites. And I went, babe, it's to set up the Popeye's chicken. And I go, okay, I had a hard-boiled egg, turkey bacon. I did have the ginger lemon shot. And then I had the tuna, but I did have but it was a tweet. It was something entertainment.
One of my favorite things, and I'm not making fun of anyone that does this. If you've done this,
Oh, I've done this.
no. If I tweet out a joke,
Yeah.
I've ate 2 cheeseburgers and I've got heart palpitations. It's
Yeah.
a Wednesday. Some people like it, ha ha ha. You should have had 3. Some people were like, oh. I might suggest maybe only have 1 next time. I didn't even have a cheeseburger. It's a joke I made.
Yeah.
I was in Northridge at my old job, and I was, went to a Japanese restaurant that they had on the property, had some rolls, California rolls, because I'm a wimp when it comes to sushi.
Yeah.
And I was just I was alone at the bar, and I just made some joke. Because I was in a suit and tie, and I felt like I was like Bill Murray in Lost in Translation. I just made some joke about being alone at a sushi bar. And I had people like, are you okay? And I was like, I had the time of my life. I just was tweeting out a joke. Okay. And that's some of my problem with Twitter. There's sincerity should happen. And there's a lot of serious issues out there.
Yes.
Just don't forget to entertain everyone every now and then.
Yeah. And
say a joke.
And look, Twitter could be I'm completely serious, and people do use it for platforms, politics, serious
Which
issues.
is great.
And that's
has
your
happened.
thing.
Yeah. Information gets out.
I was called out on social media I do this too. I like to also just be like, here's my day. I like to show that I'm getting in some writing. Because one of the things that I love about some of the people that follow me and ask me things is like, you inspired me as a writer. We even got one. Me and you got tagged. I listened to the Napzok files about writing, and it really got to me. And I love that. So on a Saturday, I'm like, finally getting some pages in. And the other thing I like to do is show off my dog, Cal.
Cal's the best.
And Cal is guarding me because he lays outside my patio and he guards the door while I write. And I go, finally getting some pages in for the day. And I have a friend who is very active in politics now.
Right.
And he's the #the resistance. And he said, don't worry, Reilly, I'll save democracy for you.
Right.
And I go, wow, I just got called out for not going to a protest,
a march that day,
whatever it may be, and instead decided to catch up on my screenplay and write and share it on social media. I had to really take a breath there because I was fucking pissed.
Yeah, as you should.
And I'm like, we were on the same team here,
as
politics way.
You should.
But I'm like, please don't mistake what I do for not being active in this. I vote. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not an overly political guy. I try to keep out of it. There are things sometimes, sure. But I feel like that there is a need for not normality, but entertainment.
You have to have some of that. You have to have some of that. Steve Martin became famous. He said everyone else was talking about Nixon. I put an arrow through my head. It does not mean Steve Martin wasn't very plugged into the day.
Thank you.
It just and you have to be okay with it. You have to allow for everyone to live their life. This person doesn't. I know some people. I know some people who had signs made and were going to go to a march, and they were really into it, and they felt so good they wanted to do this, and then their anxiety kicked in because of large crowds. Were not feeling safe, and they couldn't do it, and they felt like they let themselves down and people down. It's like, no, that's your journey. They don't know that. Be careful. Be careful of what stones you throw.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with social media, too. Among all things, and I'm going to talk about the toxicity and all that kind of stuff that goes on. I'm just on a human level.
We've been over it, yeah.
On a human level, calm down.
Yeah,
calm down.
I just...
Let him have his Saturday.
I wanted my Saturday. I looked at it because I had people commenting, like, what are you working on? I love seeing that because then it gets me motivated, and I tend to want to do that. I tend to want to talk about movies and not anything else because there are people out there on both sides of the aisle that want that as well. And so it's not that I want to give that to them. That's just who I am. And what I do politics-wise is my own business. And
yeah, I mean, again, I understand we have platforms now, and like I said, there's been wonderful, and I think that's a fine line. But again, in discussing this, I feel my my walls go up because there's no nuance or one full-sided conversations that once we put this out into the world.
Right.
Now people say, Ken doesn't want you to go to protests.
Right, and
there's no nuance to it.
And I'll be right there to show the full video or play the full conversation.
And that's
the context.
Yeah, the context
is so bad.
But the so it's like let everyone have their own journey and adventure. And some of us, I don't go on Twitter. I don't go on Facebook hardly anymore.
I don't either.
Promote my stuff because that's how my career is made.
Yeah,
it's my business. If there is a national or world event that's like tragedy level, I do not post a thing all day. I don't care if I have a podcast to get out or anything. I stay off out of respect for the process. And then the next day, I've got to put my Star Wars podcast out because guess what? That's how my career's built.
Yeah.
When I was in the other industry, 9/11, I had to go to work. That was my job.
Same.
So if 9/11, I was had
social media wasn't really
there. No, Friendster hit in 2002.
Yeah.
If that happened today, God willing,
forbid.
God willing, I said that wrong. God willing, it will. God forbid.
We know.
There before the grace of God go I. I have a podcast.
Yeah.
That's my livelihood. I have to do it at some point. I choose to do it respectfully. So I just want more people just to calm down.
Yeah.
Case by case basis is one of the things I wish that more people could be in. My old industry, you had to do as best you could at a case by case basis, and sometimes it goes different. Sometimes and that's the problem I have. Case by case basis, context.
It's
intent.
Absolutely true. Case by case. I don't like politics. Great. If you want to yell and scream, do it. I will support you. You'll see a like if I like it. I will like your status or whatever the hell it is. It is case by case, and it's just interesting. I knew you had a take,
but I still
very similar to mine.
But I still find this though. Just like, say, trolls, we feel they're emboldened by the I cannot talk today. I'm looking at the iced tea I finished, and the empty end of my mouth is dry, and I should have not finished it and drank it on the show.
It's over there. Yeah.
We say trolls, they hide behind keyboards, and if they could see someone face to face, they wouldn't do it. But I think that's also true for a lot of just us in the industry. We tweet, but then you walk into a room with someone, you still have to function with them.
Yeah.
And I think that's lost sometimes,
It's hard.
And that's the downside of social media. People though, there is a problem. A lot of I've talked about it elsewhere, but I'm very connected to law enforcement, my family, my best friend. I was in a private security industry. I supervise 9 to 16 active police officers.
Oh yeah,
they answered
You've told
to
me some stories.
And the veteran guys would say part of the problem we are finding is new police officers are coming on and they lack interpersonal communication skills. So their only way of getting out of confrontations is the ultimate way.
Oh.
And that's contributed a lot to what's happened. And I think that's just kind of true in life. So it's not you millennials, you text and you can't talk. I'm not saying that because some millennials are, I think 48 now. You can be a millennial. I don't know. It's not that. It's just pull back and look at what's happened. That's where we've lost some stuff.
Yeah, it's all of that, the interpersonal skills. It's getting a grenade dropped in my lap from a friend. I thought, like just because it's so heated out there, and I feel like, which is why I want to talk to you about this, is the social media aspect at least, is why I choose to go a certain route. because I feel it's important as much as, and I'm not going to take away from any of that other stuff. If you want to protest, you go fucking protest. If you want to say this, you say that.
Yeah, do it. I mean, do it.
But
do it. I would be worried about my safety because I used to have to manage crowds and riots. And I can tell you how, as I watched 4 of my employees get trampled over tennis shoes, how dangerous crowds could be. That's why I stay away, because the little anxiety and personal safety issues kick in.
Some of those stories, when I was getting to know you on the Schmoes Know, knowing that was your job, and you would tell me, and like we would have our...
I came to work one night.
Oh, yeah.
I had to take on a guy with a knife and a chain.
I remember
who
this.
Thought I was following him because he thought I was a government agent, and he was in our parking lot. Because people have say, "Oh, you worked in mall security. What'd you deal with shoplifting?" Never.
Yeah,
that was not our job. I did pull out $17,000 worth of clothes out of a vehicle because Colombian gangs fund their operations by sending people up to do what's called ORC, organized retail theft, or organized retail crime. That's what I would deal with, not gum taken from a little store.
Insane.
And there was a guy. We get a call from the parking lot. There's a guy wandering around. He's sweating. He's angry. So one of my supervisors, who's now a police officer, goes out in the vehicle, and the guy starts screaming, and he's like, "They're following me." So we're like, "All right, hey, back off."
Yeah.
We'll call the local Devonshire divisions, the local LAPD division. We'll give them a call, but it's not an emergency, so they're good. It's a non-emergency call. They'll get there in a bit. So I go out, and I have an off-duty cop working with me. He goes out, but he didn't hear it, so he goes off in a different direction. He thought it was in another parking lot, so it was me. And I was dressed down. I had like just a long-sleeve shirt and jeans.
Oh, no.
And a radio and pepper spray and handcuffs. That's all I have, you know. And I go out there, and I'm just watching the guy from a safe distance, and he turns around and he sees me.
Oh, God.
And I see him look at me, he's like, I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, shit,
so
it's
he starts
on.
coming back to me, to the pillow, and I call into control, and I go, hey, you know, Northridge 5 control, 9-5 individual, kind of, he's making eye contact with me, he's coming towards me, I'm going to back off a little bit, place a second call to Devonshire and see if we can get a unit rolling, just that. And he's like, okay. And I back up again, and he starts seeing, he goes, hey!
Oh, no.
I know you guys are following me! And he had told my supervisor, Mason, he's like, the government's following me. The government's following me. So he starts double timing towards me, and I'm backing up in the middle of a parking lot on a Saturday or something in the afternoon. And he comes closer to me, and he has a knife in one hand and his fist wrapped in a chain in the other.
Oh, my God.
And, you know, I'm putting out a call, backup call, and I'm backing away, and eventually you just have to, do the whole get the F on the ground and this and that, and there's customers there and they don't see a uniform on me.
Yeah.
They just see this dude with is that a tiny radio in his hand? I'm yelling, I'm going to F and kill you. You come closer to me, man. Don't you do it. Da, da, da. And this confrontation ensues, and we end up, my guys get there, we arrest him, and poor guy was probably on something. I feel for him to some degree. And then I had to go to like an event, and I show up to you guys, and how was your day? I was like,
oh, God. Yeah, it was that, and then, I mean, it was always like a Christmas 2 years, like, yeah, here's my bed for Christmas Eve.
I worked 31 straight hours on Black Friday, my last Black Friday,
and like stuff like that.
Oh, the stuff, I handled 25 bomb threats, at least, in command centers with the robot out, where police captains would turn to me and go, do you want to evacuate the mall? You decide. And in 2 seconds, you have to decide if you want to make sure 20,000 people are safe or if you think it's just a prank.
Oh.
And it's like, so that's why sometimes where like people are like, my job's really stressful today. I'm like, I dealt with 20% of what my friend who's a sergeant deals with for San Fernando PD.
I've always had that.
And I didn't go to
respect.
a theater of war.
Yes.
So if that just perspective and
Dude,
safety.
Ken, somebody called me a Star Wars shill. Really? Because I just disarmed a bomb threat and handling bomb threats.
I remember
with Ken Napzok.
My first bomb threat I'm standing on. This is in probably October or November of 1998 because I started.
Oh my God.
Maybe early 99. Time she flies. And we got a associate at JCPenney sees a weird package with gravel and it's shit, and something's going on, and so we call. So what happens in a bomb threat if you run a major mall? They call it into security. They rarely will call to 911 first.
Yeah.
Hey, we got something. So me or one of my supervisors or an off-duty police officer or a $7 an hour security guard has to go out to the package and determine okay, this might warrant a call.
Yeah.
So then that happens. And at this time, I was just a guard. This happens. My uncle was actually the director at the time. Okay, let's call the police. So a black and white comes out, a unit, an A car with 2 officers in it, and they come out and they look at it. We're going to say it's, and that goes up to a supervisor. Supervisor comes out, an L car. They come out. Yep, they call the bomb squad. If you're ever driving around LA and you see sirens and they're all black cars, that is the bomb squad.
Bomb squad, okay.
Going to the locations because they're 24 hours a day wherever they live. Like the SWAT Metro, the Metro division is where the SWAT team comes out of. You get on SWAT team, you don't go to SWAT shift. You're on call, and that's why SWAT team takes a while to get there.
Yeah,
they have to. All Avengers unite. Boom, they drive to Metro, suit up, and then they go to the scene.
Oh my God!
Bomb squad comes down. Bomb squad comes down. Bomb squad then has to go. All right, this is what we think. Yep, it's worth it. We're always going to be on the side of caution. Let's bring the robot. Oh. So we, as security, hey, can we use you guys as perimeters? Okay. So here I am, $7.25 an hour. I just left my movie theater job. I just want to be in the groundlings, man. And I'm standing there. And
Talk about the day job to end all day jobs.
It's me and 2 Devonshire patrol guys hiding around a corner, watching so close where I could see Johnny Five is alive. The robot's coming in there to pick up the thing. We have caution tape.
And you know the guy did the voice.
Yeah.
This is all
Tim
full
Blady.
circle for you.
The caution tape is up, and we're blocking the entrance to JCPenney. This couple comes walking up, retired couple. And they start going under the police tape. And so
geniuses.
The Devonshire guys look at me and go, hey, go tell them to get the F out of here, man. So I go over there, and I'm like, hey, you can't come up. We got a situation. What's going on? I can't tell you. I just need you to kind of step away for your safety. And the guy looks at me. He goes, but I need socks.
You're going to have no feet.
Yeah, and so we get away.
If this goes bad.
We watch the robot. They detonate the device. It's nothing. True story. We found this one time. I'm telling stories now.
I love it.
There was one, my old boss at the time told me about this one. It was transition. I wasn't working at the place at the time. I was working at another location, I can tell you another great story.
This is fantastic.
Someone calls in, there's a mysterious package in the parking lot, and it's shaking.
Oh God.
So same thing happens. Everything I described.
Yeah.
My director was a retired LAPD lieutenant, goes up. Yep, this is suspicious. Everyone clear. Get the F out of here. We started moving. Gets out. Bomb squad comes. Same line. So by the time the bomb squad, they blow it up. It was a sex toy that had been left on in a box. Hand to God, this is not an urban legend. It happened. They found the pieces and reconstructed it.
They're like, apparently it's a dildo.
Yeah, I was at the Grove. Let me tell you, this is my job. This is the job. This is why I get upset when people are like, what'd you deal with shoplifting?
Yeah,
we're at the Grove.
Oh, and this is the biggest. That is because first when I met you,
I don't tell these stories,
and I love that you're doing it here.
I don't. This isn't exclusive to Reilly Around. I've never. People always say, you should write a book. I'm not I haven't departed mentally from it enough because it was the job effed with me a lot. I was the security director of the farmer's market, and my friend was the security director of the Grove. He calls me and goes, I need help. I need you to get over here right now. Okay, what's going on? But we run over there. A guy had walked into the bookstore and gotten in an argument with the manager, and he says, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to come back with a machete.
Oh, and wonderful.
So call went out to Wilshire Division. That's where handles that division. Lieutenant Mikey Moore, who's now the police chief of Los Angeles. I knew Mikey back in the day. He used to come all the time. So we call, we're waiting for the police, we follow the guy on camera. He goes to his car, gets an effing machete.
Oh, fuck.
And starts coming back. So by this time, it's me, my friend Corey, and Wilshire Division, and the victim, kind of describing what's going on. Describing to a T. We're like, oh, by the way, we have him on tape. He's coming back this way. So he turns the corner with the machete in his hand.
Oh, my God.
So one of the Wilshire officers has a shotgun, boom, stop, freeze, don't move, that whole thing. They form a crescent, tactical, as they say in Star Wars, if you had Adult Walkers, Veers formation.
Yeah.
And me and my friend Corey are like, we're lined back. And this lady comes up to us with her kid in her hands.
Oh, no.
And looks at me and my friend Corey and goes, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, man, please get out of here.
What,
please
because she can't get through?
No, she goes, this is overkill for shoplifting. You guys are overkill. And
lady,
with her kid there, said, get the fuck out of here now.
Thank you.
You've got to go. You've got to go.
Lady, this ain't shoplifting.
Get your kid and go. I'll never. And storms off. I don't know what happened to her.
Good.
And they took the guy in the custody no incident. And that's it. That's my view of the world. We used to have a canine, an armed canine officer, and a canine dog, a beautiful, beautiful 110-pound German Shepherd. Used to work at the mall. And one day I was getting coffee, and I see the handler, Joe, and he walks by, and I try to get his attention. He's going to mall management check in, and someone behind. I'm in a suit and a tie. They don't see a radio.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, that is overkill for a mall. And I turned around and I go, you see it as overkill. What do we see that makes us have this?
Yeah. Oh, and that's the perfect. Yeah. And
I had my radio.
Did they say? And this is after 9/11?
10 years after 9/11.
Okay, come on.
People don't see a lot of things that you.
And I don't want to.
Yeah.
And that's what my favorite thing about you, Ken, as we wrap this up finally, is that when I met you, I looked at you as just brilliant on the mic, funny. We talked about stuff, Star Wars.
Grumpy security
all
director
these,
is what he is.
But then to hear about that and to know that of course you're the pit boss. Of course you can make shit happen and take people out. And I mean, handling bomb threats with Ken Napzok. I mean, I
That's
think
a good podcast, right? I should just run through all 25 or so I dealt with.
That is the title of this podcast.
Yeah.
Handling bomb threats with Ken Napzok.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, and I would want to be with you because, man, if I saw you, and I've seen you somewhat get into. We've never had anything bad happen, obviously, thank God. But I remember we did have somebody walk into the
fan
Collider
just
Studios.
walked in. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of walked in.
Hey, don't do that.
Yeah. And it's, especially nowadays, it's not something that we can handle too well. We'll invite you. We'll be fine with all that. But when you walk in and sit silently, just stumbling in, I saw you not go to red alert, but you were definitely like...
And you actually did a lot of the speaking, as did Ellis.
Yeah.
I had an asp... What that fan didn't know is I had an asp baton in my
Right. You had that.
pocket.
You're like... You went,
which is
okay,
a collapsible baton that's about...
You made the joke
that
first.
goes,
like, shh, let's take care of this.
Yeah. And so I've had it in my back.
And I'm
we're
like, hi. I can stand behind Cam.
Who are you?
Yeah.
And you were leading the way. You were good. I'll sign you up for the job.
Thank you.
And the fan was like, oh, I think he was from London. He's like, I'm just here. I figured I'd take a shot. We're like, great. You're going to have to step outside for a second.
Lead you this way because the editors are sitting there. God bless them. Are like,
and he's like looking at, hey, cool. It's Ken Napzok from Jedi Council, and I have a baton and hidden behind my back, like Braun in Game of Thrones with his knife behind his back. I'm just like, we're gonna walk you outside.
I bet a lot of people listening to the Reilly Roundtable thought we'd either talk Game of Thrones, Star Wars, Schmoes Know, which we did, Schmodown.
Yeah.
But we talked about Ken's life. We talked about your career, everything, and your security, which I'm so glad I got into. But that will do it for episode 10. I can't believe it's episode 10 episodes.
Good for you, sir.
I'm there. I'm doing it. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us for this, the Reilly Roundtable. Ken Napzok, where can the good people plug everything?
Absolutely,
do your
man.
thing.
The easiest way is just to follow me at Ken Napzok across all social media platforms. But some things to focus on. I do have the Patreon page, patreon.com/the Napzok Files. And look, it's a Patreon age, and I've heard people say, I'm always being asked to support Patreons. There's a reason for it. Our industry is changing, and it is direct to consumer, and I am trying to build a Napzok Netflix.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on there, and I know you are too. So consider joining. If you don't, the best way to support me is still just listen.
Yeah.
And that's still the best way. But doing that, and then my YouTube page is back up and running.
Nice.
YouTube.com/C/Ken Napzok, whatever it is. Just type Ken Napzok on YouTube. And I finally, after all these years, I'm trying to do stuff regularly. My motivations with Ken will be eventually go from Instagram TV to also be on YouTube. So
it's
I can
the best.
be on there.
I watch it on my way to work sometimes.
It's fun. I have a lot of fun. And there's a whole story to coming up with that, but we'll go into overtime later on.
Yeah.
So that's that. And then Force Center, please listen to Joseph Scrimshaw, Jennifer Land, and myself. That is where I'm most passionate about Star Wars. I love
one of
everything
the best
else
Star
I do.
Wars podcasts out there.
Yeah, I love everything else I do Star Wars. I love being part of Collider Jedi Council. I'm passionate for that. But Force Center is where I've been building that brand with those two since 2015, and I hope you guys all check it out.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ken, for that. And
in the afternoons with Josh and Ken.
Of course.
Yeah.
Which I want to be on that.
You're going to be.
Well,
you
Josh
got to work.
You and Josh are my two favorite people. Thank you again, guys. This is episode 10. It drops every Thursday on the Collider Podcast One factory feed. You can also find me here on YouTube on the Collider Podcast video YouTube channel. Thank you very much. And, of course, he mentioned it. I do have a Patreon. I'm trying to do a community of my own.
Yep.
The Reilly Roundtable. It is patreon.com/the Reilly Roundtable. I'm having fun with it, man. The Patreons that did sign up, we are on Discord all the time having fun. I'm doing the shows. I'm doing Sundays with Reilly, which is going to be on Sundays, obviously, as well as a number of new shows, including Screaming at the Void with Tom Dagnino, who is my co-host. That's going to be a lot of fun. Your support, it's dangerous. Your support means the world to me, so thank you for that. And stay tuned for another all-new The Reilly Roundtable, which will drop next Thursday, folks. See you then.